Let's speak to Fadel Abdul Ghany. He's the chairman and founder of the Syrian Network for Human Rights. He joins us now from Doha. Fadel Abdul Ghany, thank you very much indeed for your time. Why now? Why have these attacks over the past 2 weeks been taking place? What's the logic, do you think, of the regime and its supporters in Moscow?
I think after the Moscow failed, that Asitana completely failed, and the regime, the Geneva process will start again. They try now to seize as possible territory as they can. What does Asitana mean? Because the Russian goal actually to achieve, after they seized Ghouta, Idlib, north of Hamas, to achieve political achievement actually. So, and they failed completely to rehabilitate Assad again, start refugees back to Syria, reconstruction. So, and they failed now, they concrete that the Geneva process, and we have lots of comment and criticism as well to the Geneva process, they might also start again. So they want now to launch this huge operation, which is the massive operation against civilians, and lots of war crimes and crimes against humanity have been committed since the beginning of this recent operation. That doesn't mean that there is no previous operation taking place and lots of violation of Asitana agreement taking place before. Since the beginning of September 2018 till now, about 600 civilians have been killed in northwest Syria, in Idlib and around Idlib, and about 1 million Syrian forcibly displaced. But the aim of Moscow as well to achieve, plus what I mentioned, also they want to destroy any resistance from the armed opposition group, which is the opposite Moscow achievement. And they want also the international road between Aleppo and Damascus to be under their control, to rise the Assad economy again, which is, I think also this is will be impossible.
Do you think it's inevitable now that it must happen eventually that Russia and the regime in Damascus will launch a full-scale assault to regain control of all of Idlib? That will bring the entire Syrian territory back in control of Bashar al-Assad.
I don't think that they have the ability, and they found that there is types of resistance in Idlib actually, and in not only in Idlib. We just mentioned Idlib, and I think this is also a mistake. It's northwest Syria, better term actually, because now the mainly operation taking place in north of Hama, and here is the main resistance coming from the opposition group, and I think that the Assad and the Iranian as well, because the Iranian militia merged to Assad army as well, they don't have the ability to seize all of this territory. But here we have actually comment that the international community left, abandoned Syrian, and also they put the responsibility under the guarantor's shoulder alone. Okay, now and blaming Turkey and Iran and Russia. Okay, Turkey, they have their responsibility. We believe in that, but that doesn't mean, and that's very sensitive point, that the international community, the United States, the European country, just keep watching and monitoring the crimes against humanity and war crimes. Fighting those, actually, this responsibility for the UN Security Council, which they failed after their meeting. We just watch condemns and general talks. That mean agreement. That mean agree actually what they are, the Russian doing on the ground in Syria. And
Fadel,
also the
Fadel,
UN
do you mind? I just want to. We're running out of time, so let me just ask you: how much do you think the international community is standing back and letting this happen because of the existence in that part of Syria of groups like Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, which almost everybody agrees is a terrorist organization? Clearly, there are other sorts of people who are fighting against Bashar al-Assad, but the existence of groups like al-Sham does that make it more complicated for the international community to say you should stop?
Of course, and the main actually damage from those extremist groups is the Syrian society. They occupied the Syrian society. So they are not only fighting Bashar al-Assad, but they are fighting also the rebels also. They are fighting both sides. They have this accusation zero, and they want only themselves actually. That, of course, you are right, that will be more complicated, but we didn't see this is the way how to treat with those and how to get rid of those groups out of Syria. The treatment should be in other way actually, and to enhance and to support the society, the Syrian society, similar what happened in other area, like for example in Al-Furat Shield, support the local people in order to defeat the extremist group, not only to bomb the civilians and kill everyone, and by justification that we are fighting ISIS or Hayat Tahrir Sham or whatever. That's not the way. That will lead for a catastrophe, disaster, what we are seeing, and as you know, that all the international aid organizations stopped because they said this area is seized by Hayat Tahrir Sham. So the civilians and the IDP also, they left alone without any types of aid actually.
Really appreciate your time. Fadel Abdul Ghany speaking to us from Doha, from the Syrian Network for Human Rights. Thank you, Fadel.